This is Miss Clark. I found her at school, and she's a very strong, empowering English teacher. um, what impact has women history had on the world?
Women's history, I think, is very important because we know it's always been a very male-dominated world, a very male-dominated society, and, for a very long time, there was very little rights to women. I mean, if you think about the fact that we only got the right to vote about 100 or so years ago, and I think that Women's History Month highlights just how strong and determined women are to fight for the rights that they need. And I think that it is a very important light to shine on women.
Thank you. What does it mean to be a strong woman?
To be a strong woman, I think, means to be whoever you define yourself as a woman. Anything that you do as a woman that really makes you feel like you just define a sense of womanhood. There's so many different types of woman that, it's hard to characterize it into one sort of box, but I think anything that really impacts others in a positive way and, is nurturing and caring and loving, I think that is, a strong woman.
How can we empower other young ladies?
We can empower other young ladies by informing them that there is no one right way to be a woman. Being a young lady and becoming a woman is a process that is individual to each lady. And, we can become strong women by empowering each other. And, the possibilities are endless for young ladies.
How can we work to eliminate discrimination and sexism against women?
I wish I knew the answer to that one. So I think it definitely starts at the top. We have a lot of men in power, and they're the ones who decide the laws and, what we can do with our bodies and all that. And I think that it needs to start with women in power and women being the ones to make decisions.
What can we do to end violence against women and girls?
I think that's a similar sort of response, and also when we look at it from a world and cultural perspective, there's certain cultures where women are viewed as severely inferior, and I think again if we had that global message of womanhood and equity for women that we could possibly curb some of the violence that occurs. And again, I wish I knew the response and why women are mistreated so often, why this I would say stereotype, but it's not even a stereotype, why this normalcy has come into play. I don't even know. And I think that we need to speak more openly about women and women's rights.
How have economics, political, and social changes affected women's lives?
So I'm going to go back to the men in power here, and a lot of the decisions for women's lives, women's bodies, women's characters have all been made by men. And if we look in politics, just the fact that we've never had a female president, that's saying something. And we look to other countries like Germany that have had female chancellors, and that's amazing and very progressive. And why we personally can't have that here is an interesting thing to consider. But also in the world at large, it's not just us. There's many places where again women are viewed as inferior, and I think that economically we suffer, politically we suffer, and there's definitely a discrepancy.
How has women's history shaped our understanding of the world today?
Women's history is essential to our culture, to our world. It all starts with women when you think about it. And we are just as equal as men in population, in the effect that we have on this world. And we are the founders, we are the creators, we are the ones who push things forward. And We're important.
Last question. How can we build on these successes to create a better future for all women?
I think we can definitely highlight women's successes more. We can, celebrate women in positions of power and even not in positions of power. Just, everyday women who have everyday jobs, or women who, are just doing these great things in society that are often overlooked in favor of, a man doing it instead. And I think that we can really just celebrate women more, push women's stories forward more, and focus more on women in, instead, I want to say instead of men, but, kind of like every day is International Men's Day, and, we have this month, and I think that, we need to celebrate women more.
Thank you so much.
Of course.